Controversy continuing to swirl here at Queen's Park over the hiring of Doug Ford's good friend to the position of Ontario's top cop. Now the NDP is calling on the RCMP to investigate after the interim OPP commissioner wrote a scathing letter to the ombudsman detailing new allegations. This is a story that just isn't going away, and the optics for this government are bad.
I want to send a clear message to the world that here in Ontario, we are ready to do business.
This is the closest the media could get to Doug Ford when he gave a speech today. There was a concerted effort to keep him away from cameras. It is the worst possible PR visual for a premier under fire. Doug Ford ducking reporters and sneaking out a back door of the Fairmont Royal York Hotel, evading questions that need to be answered after this letter from interim OPP Commissioner Brad Blair, who was passed over for the job by Doug Ford's friend Ron Taverner, the 72-year-old superintendent from Toronto Police. Blair, who has 32 years with the OPP, is calling on Ontario's ombudsman to investigate if there was political interference. The letter lists several concerns, including the fact Ron Taverner did not have the rank to qualify for the original job posting, which was downgraded 2 days later, making Taverner eligible, and that Doug Ford did not recuse himself from the final cabinet decision to appoint his friend.
Can I get you a cup of coffee, Mayor, or water?
Blair also alleges the Premier's Chief of Staff, Dean French, seen here at Ford's offices earlier this week, asked the OPP to buy a large camper-type vehicle from a specific company that could be modified to specifications from the Premier's office and that it be kept off the books. In other words, hide the expense from taxpayers and only sole source the deal. The opposition is calling on the RCMP to investigate.
You're trying to avoid fessing up. Well, Premier, you got to fess up. It's illegal because there are requirements in terms of the way that the finances of this province operate, which is why we're sending a letter to the Chair of Treasury Board asking him to do an internal investigation.
Honestly, wow. It is critical that a commissioner of the OPP, like all police, maintain their independence from politics and the legislature. This is the only way Ontarians will continue to have confidence in their police and the work they do.
The Ford government, though, is digging in its heels. The Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services sent out this letter saying the government would not comment on the interim commissioner's motivations, and they fully and completely dispute the content of the letter. Now, there was a very lengthy cabinet meeting here today. No sign of Doug Ford, and the few staffers that I have seen looked quite grim-faced. Now, a key concern here is that there should be separation between police and politicians. After all, the OPP would be the ones to investigate if a politician was suspected of criminal wrongdoing. Taverner will assume command on Monday, but there are multiple calls for him to step aside or wait until if the ombudsman does an investigation. And by the way, Toronto police have confirmed to CityNews that Ron Taverner has not officially resigned from the force.